Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Jim Coppinger with Zentek Consultants, and I want to welcome welcome you to our BricsCAD, the Power of the Quad presentation. So, just a real quick thing before we get going. As I go through the presentation today, I encourage you guys to ask questions. And I'm going to go through the presentation. I'm probably not going to stop and answer those in real time because I do want to get through. We have a limited amount of time here. But I have slotted time at the end of this presentation where I can do a little Q&A session. So you can either type into the question box or the chat box, either one, and I will answer your questions when we get to the end, okay? So, all right, with that said, let's go ahead and move through and talk about BricsCAD, the power of the quad. So for starters, for those of you who have not worked with us before, we are Zentek Consultants, and we are specialists in working in the AEC and manufacturing space with all of your CAD design and document control technologies. All right, we're here to be your trusted technology partner, and we hope you guys will take the time to hit our website and see that we do quite a bit more than just BricsCAD. All right, so let's start with a real quick overview in terms of what is BricsCAD, because that's a question we get quite a lot. All right, so BricsCAD is a CAD system, obviously, that really works with the standard native DWG file that most of you guys are used to from the AutoCAD world. It literally works with all of your files as is, and it also contains 99% of all the exact same commands. And when I say exact, I mean exact. It means that your users, your people in your office don't really have to learn anything new. You can work in BricsCAD and it does everything in the exact same way with the exact same names and the exact same keyboard shortcuts, right, that you're used to using inside of AutoCAD today, right? The benefits of dealing with BricsCAD is that what they've done is, whereas Autodesk went the route of kind of breaking everything into different packages, if you do multiple types of design, you do mechanical, electrical, plumbing, architectural, you need different packages, and those different packages have different file formats, and they're all individual softwares. Whereas in BricsCAD, right, you're able to deal with one software that handles everything you see up here on screen: BIM, 3D, sheet metal, manufacturing, mechanical work, and basic drafting, both 2D and 3D, right? All in one DWG file with one program, right? And the other thing that we're really going to stress here today, it's why we're here to talk about the quad, is that unlike Autodesk, BricsCAD has made a point of regularly updating and improving their 2D drafting tools. The big names out there in the market have kind of decided that 3D is the only thing that we should be working in, and they're trying to force everybody into that model. But the thing is, on small to medium-sized projects, it's just not cost efficient. We still need to work in 2D and plans and sketches and layouts, and there haven't been major breakthroughs in the processes in those big systems on the 2D side in over a decade. Well, BricsCAD is changing that. They put in an incredible array of tools to really help you in your day-to-day operational stuff. And that's what we're going to talk about today with the quad. It's one of my favorite tools that I've seen in quite a long time. I absolutely love the quad. So, why should you consider changing your CAD system if you're not already on BricsCAD? And if you are, we appreciate that. If you haven't, right, the big thing to understand about BricsCAD is, number one, that it offers both perpetual and subscription-based licensing. You get to choose. Unlike their big competitor out there, Autodesk, who forces you to pay annual subscriptions and update your software every single year, whether you want to or not, right? BricsCAD gives you the option to buy the license, hold it for 4 years, and update only when you feel that there's a benefit to you. Not only does it do that and have all of the regular updates, but really, it's generally speaking way less expensive than their competitive Autodesk product. Okay, usually about 50% or so. And like I said, all of your standard tools, Lisp routines, utilities, all the things you developed over the years in those AutoCAD systems, you can just open those and work with them without any change or modification right inside of BricsCAD. Right? And all of that happening within the standard DWG files that you guys are used to and have been using today. So you don't have to update or translate or make any kind of a switch in your CAD system, right? So with that said, right, that's kind of the overview of BricsCAD. And I'm assuming that most of you guys at least have a general idea of BricsCAD and what it does. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be here today. So what we want to do now is just talk about the quad tool, what it is and what we're going to work with it. So the quad tool, right? Like I said, it's one of those really nice changes that BricsCAD has brought to the game when it comes to 2D CAD drafting. The idea behind the quad tool is that it's going to give you the tools that you need for whatever you happen to be doing without you having to go through and search through ribbons and menus and so on. All right, that's its basic idea, right? So with that said, let's go ahead and actually see the quad tool in action. So I've got BricsCAD open here. All right, you see I just have a standard architectural floor plan that I'm working with here, and this was actually originally created in AutoCAD. All right, it's just an AutoCAD, DWG based file that I just opened in BricsCAD, no trickery. Right, it didn't have to convert anything or change anything. So the idea of the quad tool, in most CAD systems, when you want to, run commands, if you want to draw lines, arcs, circles, whatever you're looking to build, 3D, 2D, you have to go up, you have to learn, either the drop down menus and where commands are, and the sub menus and the flyouts and finding specific items, and right, same thing with editing and so on. You either have to do it through the drop downs, the toolbars, you have to know what the tools look like, or you have to sit here going through different ribbon panels trying to find which panel was that tool on, and there's a big learning curve that goes along with that, right? People have to figure out where things are, okay? And it also takes time in your day-to-day drafting situation where every time if I want to draw a line, I have to go up here, and I go and I'm somewhere else, I'm working on something over here, and I have to go draw another line. Oh, no, I have to go back to the home tab, and I have to, oh, no, that's not where the line was. Where was it? It was on the draw tab. Oh, it was on the model tab. You see what I mean? You have to find all these different locations. The quad tool eliminates all that, right? When I'm out here in space, so my cursor is just kind of floating, all I have to do is right click. And you see it gives me this little pop-up. This is the quad tool. And all I have to do is move my mouse over it. And it gives me, broken down into categories here, all of the basic drafting and design controls that I need in this space. So I can go in and I have all of my basic drawing tools right here. So I can just go in and say, hey, I need a line. And I can draw my line from here to here. There you go, I draw a line. Not a problem, okay? Now I'm somewhere else, I'm doing something else, I'm moving, I need a line again, I just right click in space. And what's great about this, you notice that my last command always comes up as the first option in my quad, so that I can always go right back to the same command, draw a line over here. Right, now I need to draw another line. I just right click, pick the line tool again. Oh, need to draw another line, okay? And I can just right here going into any of these commands, and you can see here underneath here that the quad tool, it's broken right into the model, drawing, BIM, inserting. So it's not just being able to go in and draw, right? I can go in, I can draw whatever I need, lines, rectangles, arcs, circles, or your primitive splines. I can add multi-line text from here, hatches from here, ellipses, tables, clouds, revision bubbles, multi-leaders, everything that I need for drafting in a 2D world, it's all right here, right? But I also have, you see, as I move across these different blue categories up here, it's going to give me different tools. So I can actually go over just by sliding over to the Insert tab. What am I looking to do? Do you need to insert blocks, right? Attach XREFs, PDF underlays, images, right? Whatever you need, point clouds, blocks, copy, paste, right? You want to bring in, use a camera, right? Any features and functions that you need for inserting are all right here, okay? I've also got a General tab, so they can very, very quickly get to standard things, right? Like being able to pack an e-transmit, right? Do drawing compares, okay? Very easy to do here in BricsCAD. Get coordinate identification, right? I can open the Drawing Explorer, I can measure items, I can measure distances. All of kind of your generic tools are all right here under General, okay? You've also got integrated right into this. Like I said, we're kind of focusing today on the 2D side of things, but like I said, BricsCAD is one system that integrates both your 2D and your 3D drafting and controls into one single system, right? So that I can actually go in here and you see I've got a whole modeling tab where I can go in and I can draw all of my 3D items, right? I can draw walls and polysolids and tubes and connections. I can do sweeps and lofts. Everything that I need to do to create a BIM model, I can do right from here as well, right? Then I can even go in here and I can do BIM conversions. I can convert things to walls, right? Components, I can set spatial locations, I can categorize, generate profiles and sections, right? All of my BIM and three-dimensional drafting tools, right? So they're all integrated very, very easily into these quad tools when I just right click out in space anywhere, right? So again, think about how much time that saves me when I need to go in, right, and change things. Now, or create things, excuse me. Now, the next step is that you can go in on any object, doesn't matter what object, when you pick on an item, okay? When you pick on an item and then right click, right? Oops, sorry. Or just hover over it, it gives you the quad. But you see that the quad, right, changes. Now, because I've already selected an item, I just didn't start out in space, the quad is intelligent enough to know that, hey, you've picked a thing, whatever that thing is, a line, a block, a circle, a piece of text, a dimension, whatever you select, it's going to give you a context sensitive quad tool. So you see that now I can go in here, right, and I've got a 2D line. So you see it's giving me modification tools. I can delete the line. I can move the line. I just need to move it from there over to here. Then when I go over and I hover over it again, you see that my previous command is the move. So I can move it again from here to here. Hover over it, give me the move command again. All right, now I can go back to modify. This time I want to copy it. Where? From here to here, to here, to here, to here. Okay, hit escape, go hover over any object. See my left command repeats. There's my copy command again. I can go back into the modify, all of my modification tools, right, that you would expect. Copy, paste, array, mirror, copy with a base point, cut, copy, paste, trim, extend, lengthen, all of your, format, match properties, all here, okay? I also have additional tools, right, in terms of drawing. So now I can get it to more, because I'm modifying this object, what drawing items can I create from that object, in this case, the line, right? So I can go in, I can join lines together. I can add linear dimensions, right? I can add align dimensions. I can do offset commands, okay? I can do selections. I can divide lines, right? And these selections, these tools are all going to change depending on what type of item you select. So think about this in terms of like a real world structure, right? Let's kind of zoom in here on my plan. If I need to start throwing in dimensions, in a typical CAD setting, I'd have to go up, I'd have to go to the annotation tab, I'd have to go to the drawing, I'd have to go annotate, I'd have to go to dimensions, I'd have to find like the little button and hover which one is the one that I want for a linear dimension, okay? Then I have to come back in and zoom here and choose the endpoints from here to here. Instead, I can just hover over this line and just go in here and say, look, what do I want to do? I need to draw, right, a linear dimension. And you see it just puts the dimension in place for me. Oop, my scale is a little bit off, but you see the idea, right? That my dimension scale is in here. And then on the dimension, I can go in and I can modify the dimension, right? I can go in, I can change the size, I can change the style, edit the text, rotate the text. See that every object I hover over, I'll get a different set of modification tools for that object without ever having to do anything, just simply going in and hovering. I can very quickly run and label, right? When I go on a block, right? Here's a block. When I go into the block, right? You see I can move the block, copy, paste. I can even go in and do the block editor in here, okay? I can edit the block if I need to, right? I can go in and do edit the block definition, right? To get into the block editor. That's always going to change for me depending on what area and what section I'm on. Now, one of the other things that I really, really like about the quad tool, particularly when you're modifying existing objects, notice when I hover over it, right, it gives me kind of a summation of that object, okay? And it gives me the color, the layer, and the name of the object. So you see in this case, it's a block named computer. Its color is set by layer and it's on layer CPU. Same thing when I go up here to the wall, right? I can see what layer that's on. Now what's nice about that is when I move over here for those objects, I can actually come over here and you see I can actually change those. I can actually switch an object's layer with the drop down right here off the quad tool. How fast is that? I don't have to worry about turning on toolbars and going back to the home tab and choosing the layer drop down, right? I just go in here and I can adjust everything that I need, right? Just by clicking on the object and going right into the quad tool for that, right? And then I can go in and I can start to do much, much more than that, right? One of the really, really nice things about working with BricsCAD, right, is like I said, they're continuously adding new and powerful tools, not just in terms of the quad, but overall, right? And they integrate those into the quad. So here, for example, this tool right here, right, which is your modify tool, okay, right? This is an amazing tool. It allows you to go in and pick a specific object, right? And I can take, you know what, I'm going to do this on a, let me see, I'll do this on a block just so you can kind of see, right? Right, so I'm going to go in, right, and I'm going to use that. And now you see how I get this little gray atom, so I can actually move this to different components, different locations, right? And this manipulator has a bunch of different tools on it. All right, so for starters, all right, you see that I have this little arc, so I can just by clicking here, see that I can spin around my origin point, no problem. Right? Then I can go back here and you see that I can actually, as I move from the top, I can move horizontally or vertically. So I can put in a set distance if I need to just click that and move that 4 feet in that direction. Right? And if I need to move it 2 feet down, I just click on the sidebar and I just move it 2 feet down. Okay, which is really, really amazing. The other thing that I can do, so that's nice when I'm moving things horizontally or vertically, right? And I can rotate it. Those are all really good things. But you see if I go over here, I can do things like mirror it over set lines. So you see I can mirror it horizontally and vertically as I need to, right, to either side, right, to work with that. But the thing I like is this little green point right here, right, and this comes, I'm just gonna move this over a little bit here just so you can see this a little bit better. This green box up here allows you to go in, right, and when you click on that, if I can get it, there it is, right, you can just move it to wherever you need, right, and then you can just go back in, all right, it's a basic grip point, right, and what I'm trying to show you here, which I messed up on, right, with the manipulator, right, is the green one right here. Nope, that's letting me, it's not giving me my, hate when I make mistakes, okay? There it is. I can actually rotate to a set angle, and you see that the manipulator rotates with it. Now when I go in and I move, you see I can move along the axis of rotation, not just left and right. So when you want to go in, you say, look, I need to take this item, I need to rotate it 45 degrees and then move it along that 45-degree axis 12 feet, not a problem. I just go and put my manipulator on, right? I can go ahead and rotate that, and you see I can actually type in 45 degrees, right? And now I can just move it 12 feet along that axis and then hit escape. And I can do that on any object, lines, circles, blocks, does not matter, right? The quad tool has these built-in features that really, really make your life much, much easier, okay? Right? And other tools that you have in here, right? Simple things like select. When you get into modifying, right? You can go into the select section, right? And you can isolate a specific entity, right? So if I need to isolate that entity, see, I can very quickly undo, do that, and then I can go back and I can unisolate the entity if I need to. I'm just gonna undo that. The other thing that you can do here, right? You see, you can go back and you can hide and unisolate, or you can actually select similar. Just like that, I can select all of the similar. I see it selected every single computer for me in the entire setup. Same thing, it'll select walls, all the walls, lines that are all in the same layer, and it just repeats that last command. See, I can very quickly, all throughout my entire drawing, find similar items that are on the same type and the same layer, all using the quad tool. Everything that I need in terms of editing and manipulation is all right here in the quad tool. I can change colors, I can change layers, I can change line types, I can change distances, lengths, right? And I also have the ability to pull these in and integrate these directly, right? I can add dimensions, I can do offsets, right? How far do you want to offset this? 5 feet, right? That easy. I can offset any object and then repeat the offset. Now go 5 feet the other way, okay? All of those basic commands are all right here on your quad, right? Moving, copying, pasting, extending, right? I can use the manipulator tool. I can select objects. I can even get into applying constraints, right? I can get in and I can start adding, distance constraints, length, angular constraints to existing objects, okay? All built in right here into the quad tool to give you all of the editing and drawing creation tools that you need, all of your basic drafting tools in one place. And you notice that throughout this entire presentation, not at one time did I ever go up to the ribbon, the drop down, or a toolbar. Everything right here, I can turn those off, have my entire screen set, and literally everything I need for drafting and working, including things like undo and redo, all of my tools, all my features are all right here. Right? And they are all context sensitive, so they will change depending on where you click and what you click on. That's the power of BricsCAD Quad. That's the kind of two-dimensional drafting control we've all been looking for decades, okay? So with that said, I'm gonna just jump back here to the PowerPoint, right? And just let you guys know, right, that there are different versions of BricsCAD available, right? There's the Classic, the Pro, the Platinum, BIM, Mechanical, and Ultimate, right? The Ultimate literally includes everything else so that you can innate every single one of these all work in the same drawing file format. No difference, Okay, so you can, work on a file in AutoCAD, open it up in Classic, work on it, give it to someone who's working in Platinum. He can work on it. He can turn it to someone who's in Mechanical, and then you can go back and open it up again in AutoCAD because it's all the same file format, same structures. Okay, and at Zentech, we're here to help you guys find the right package for you and help you purchase it, train on it, install it, and get it configured. All right, so with that said, it is question and answer time, and it does look like you did get a couple of questions in. So I got a question from Terrence. Can you change the tools that show on the quad? Yes, actually you can. I'm sorry I didn't mention that, Terrence. It's a great question. Let me just pop back to BricsCAD real fast here. One of the things that you can do here inside of BricsCAD is that you can customize pretty much everything. And one of the things you can do is you can go right to the quad tab, and you can actually go and you see, like, for like the edit and draw tools, I can actually adjust and choose which tools appear based on the type of object that I choose. So you can totally customize that to your own specific drafting and company needs for the type of work that you do, which is really, really amazing. That's a great question. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Other questions. Let's see. We got a question from Candy. What if you run a command from a menu? Will it stay on the quad? Yeah. No. Oh, great question. Right. So I was showing we were running all these tools and we were getting our previous command. Right. The last thing I ran was the offset, but I ran that with the quad. It does not matter where you ran your last command from. Right. So if you were to go up and I did a rectangle off of the ribbon panel and I run the rectangle there. Okay. Now when I go in and I right click, see rectangle is my new command. So wherever your last command came from, Candy, it will be available in your quad without you having to do anything. So even if there was something you couldn't find on the quad for some reason, you had to go up and search for it and you found it and you ran it, then it becomes your the default for the next set. So good question. And we got a question from Joseph. Is the quad only available in the advanced Brics packages? No. Like I said, there are multiple Brics packages, but the quad tool is basic to all of them. Just to go back real quick, all right? Even the Classic, Pro, but all of these, the quad tool is just native to the base level BricsCAD operating system. So you'll have this tool available in any version of BricsCAD that you choose. Okay, and I think that answers all the questions. If you guys do have any other questions, please, you can feel free to email us afterwards. I'll actually put my email up here at the end. You can send it to us. And again, we are BricsCAD experts. We can help you with everything BricsCAD, but we do quite a lot more. Right, we handle a lot of different software and technologies in the architecture, design, construction world, as well as manufacturing space. So we hope you guys let our website and see all the other things we offer. Right, and like I said, if you guys have any questions, if you want to know more about BricsCAD, how it can work for you, what you can do with it, feel free to reach out to us either at the website or the phone number, or you can email sales@zentechconsultants.net, and we will be happy to help you in any way we can. Thank you guys for taking the time to join us today, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.